Greetings one and all, my name is Lancer and welcome to a binge cap. I feel like it's been a while since I've said my own intro, but speaking of things that I feel like it's been a while since I've talked about, anime! Now this binge cap is sort of another kind of series that I've sort of done, or I mean it wasn't really a series, it was like one episode, but last anime season, the spring anime season, I did a video at the beginning of it kind of talking about just the shows that I was really watching at the time. That video up there if you want to watch it, even though it's kind of obscure now. I decided that going into this summer season that I would wait till the end of the season to really talk about the stuff that I was watching, because definitely there was a lot more this season than last season, and there's even still stuff that I've missed this season that I'm definitely now going to go back and watch in its entirety, because now as of recording this episode, pretty much everything of the summer season has wrapped or is either about to wrap in a couple of cases. For the most part, it's enough to warrant me, I'd say, finally talking about them, because now we're going into the fall season and there's going to be a lot of good shit coming out. A lot of them I'm going to be actually reacting to on the channel, so stay tuned for that. But the summer season, I'm going to be open and honest about this one. This season had some interesting ones, to say the least. If you know me by now, my taste in anime is unknown, really. Yeah, I love the best of the best. I love the good shit, but like there's that part of me that just has the soft spot for the garbage, you know? Like every once in a while I gotta have some junk food, but with my case it's mostly junk food. Because really, I'm just gonna say right now, out of all these shows I'm about to talk about, there's not really one in which it's like, yeah, that was fucking amazing, I'm gonna rewatch it 1,000 times. It's more just like, that was a show. So I guess I'll start with the one that I had started watching for obvious reasons, and that is whatever the fucking long ass my stepmom's daughter is my ex one. I'm also gonna say at the start of this season and sort of into the like midway of it, I wasn't really watching new stuff, because if you've seen my 3-episode long series now that I was talking about, where I was doing my big long binge of all things Dragon Ball, that's what was taking up the majority of my anime watching time, so I didn't really watch other things really, just mainly because also there wasn't really a whole lot stuff that I was like, I need to watch this now. There is one now that I'm actually thinking about it, it's like, oh yeah, duh. For the most part, it's a lot of ones that's just like, you know what, I maybe could have waited a bit. But either way, the stepmom daughter ex show, I started watching it for, you know, plot reasons, as I think most people did, and that's mainly why I kept watching it. I'm just gonna give a blanket statement of spoiler-free for this, everything I'm gonna talk about. Just for the sake of it. A lot of these shows, it's just like I can really just talk about them without giving heavy spoilers, because, you know, a lot of them are kind of the same show. But either way, this one, I don't know why, just because like it's definitely one of those ones that I could have watched back when I was really like branching out with anime during high school and all that, where it seems like one of those ones that I would have watched back then and then just kind of faded into obscurity through memory and time. I don't know what's wrong with me, and I just can't like consume garbage anymore. If I did a reaction series to this show for whatever reason, I would just be the entire time. That's how it was when I was watching this show. I would just like wake up the morning that it was aired, and then it pretty much would go in my eyes, out the back of my head, one ear, the other. It really was nothing special. I mean, I will say the ending, at least, it was something. It made it somewhat worth your time. It kind of hit home a little bit, just as someone who went through a breakup with someone and would often have thoughts about like, hey, maybe we could get back together, but obviously not, for me, not in the sense of like a step-sibling kind of thing. I mean, this show, the plot thing there is just like, there are these two middle school kids who dated and then they broke up, and then circumstance found it that his dad and her mom got married, and then it's just like the whole, oh shit, my stepmom's daughter is my ex, which that's a weird title. You figure they should just call it My Stepsister is My Ex. It's one of those shows where just like, couldn't we have just made this a hentai and called it a day? It's literally about step siblings. Like, listen, there comes a point where it's just like, you're either Orimo or you're just hentai. Take whatever you want when it comes to the Wincest or whatever, but just at the end of the day, this show was nothing special. The fan service was fan servicey, I guess. It wasn't even like that eye-catching of fan service. It was just kind of more eye-rolly than anything. At the end of the day, I'm never gonna rewatch it. I'm not gonna read the manga or anything. It's just like, if it ended, it ended. I don't care if it gets more seasons, and I don't really recommend it either, because it's not, again, it's not that special. So I'd give the Stepsister X show I gave it a 3 out of 10. Going next, I'll knock the like absolute garbage ones out of the way. I'm gonna talk about both of these at the same time, just cause like to me they're the same show. Fuck remembering the names of these, because they're long as shit. The Suspicious Maid and the Vermeil in Gold or whatever. Basic plot synopsis of both of these. Purple-haired, big-titted demon woman becomes servant to Shota bull-cutted child. The only difference there is just one is more reality-based and one is fantasy-based. Both equally as not interesting, but I kept watching. I mean, unlike the Stepsister one, I felt a little more cause to watch these, mainly the Maid one, just because the Maid one is still going. It has like a couple episodes left. I mean, the most recent episodes finally introduced at least a new character in which it's like, okay, something different. For the most part, both of them are just boring. One's a lot more wholesome than the other. The Vermeil one is very ecchi, and you know, you by now you've seen the image, the many images. And honestly, that's just how you should stay in consuming that show, to be honest. Consume the images, consume the fan art. That's all you really need to know about it. The Maid one, it's a little more wholesome, but it's very boring. I find myself like half asleep watching the episodes of that. And I can already hear what most of you would say. It's just like, oh, if it's boring or not special or whatever, why do you keep watching it? I'm one of those people that can't really drop shows unless it's like absolutely just ball-numbingly boring. But it's like, if I started watching it, especially if it's a week-to-week show, then it's like, I might as well see it through to the end. Like, watching it week to week is much easier than binging it, in my opinion. But I'd say, yeah, overall scores, the Vermeil and Gold one, I'll give it a you know what, I hold on the same level as the Stepsister one. I gave it a 3 out of 10, and the Maid one, I give a 4 out of 10. Just 'cause slightly more enjoyment, I guess. Next one, I think okay, this one's kind of in the middle of like, it's not terrible, but it's not anything to write home about either. Engage Kiss. This was one of the ones that when I was at AX, I saw a banner for. They were advertising. Me and my friend like even saw them and just like, Engage Kiss, what is that? And I'm just, I even at that point was just like, looks like trash. I can't wait to watch it. The show, it has that anime effect where it's like, it starts strong-ish, but then it doesn't necessarily dive, but it just kind of like flatlines. It has some impressive animation every once in a while. It's another very fan service-y show. I mean, it at least doesn't hold back on the fact just like, yeah, these characters have fucked. The kissing animation, just unnecessarily well done. It's just one of those like power garbage shows. Not really gonna stick with me, and I already see that they're announcing more. I mean, this is one of the ones which is like, sure, if there's more, I'll watch more. It's unlike like the past 3 I've just talked about. This one's one where it's just like, all right, if there's more, sure, I'll watch more. It at least was somewhat fast-paced enough towards the end where it was like, okay, it's like the episode was over before you really like clocked into like giving a shit. Animation's fine. Waifus are somewhat attractive, I guess. They're all cardboard cutouts, but at the end of the day, you're only gonna remember the nun, and that's all the internet's gonna remember. I enjoyed it a little more than the other 3 that I've just talked about, so 5 out of 10. Right in the middle. Right before I get into like stuff that I'm more gonna praise, I'm gonna talk about Devil's Part-Timer real quick, because I'm gonna be honest, I haven't finished it. I've gotten about 3 episodes into the 2nd season. I did watch the 1st season a while ago. I'm gonna be honest with everybody, I don't think Devil's Part-Timer is that good of a show. If I'm allowed to have one controversial opinion, even though I've had multiple by this point, I'm gonna hold on to that one. It's not that it's bad. The 1st season mainly. The 1st season, it's fine. It's not mid. It was just kind of one of those ones where it was kind of overhyped for me, I guess. It was just like, it was fine, I guess. But this 2nd season, again, I've only watched 3 episodes. My God, was it so boring. Oh my gosh. Out of all everything else that I've watched, at least they were new. They were something new. Like this one, it's like it's a sequel season. But my god, those first 3 episodes were a chore. Also, they changed the like art style. They like high school DxD'd them. The first season, at least, it's like the art and animation was at least crisp. Like it had those dark lines and everything. Made everything have a little more weight to it. This one, it's just like it doesn't have much substance to it. It's probably gonna be a bit before I finish the second season. Now, going into stuff that I have a little bit more praise to give, I think I'll start with Lycoris Recoil. This one was, I'd say, the biggest surprise of the season. If you're just looking at it and just seeing trailers of one, it's like, it doesn't seem that exciting. It's basically John Wick, but with girls. This was one of those ones where the opposite kind of anime effect happened, where it's just like, it kind of started for me, but then like all of a sudden it's like, you know what, I kind of like this. It grew on me. The animation was surprisingly great. Art, everything, the characters were the real surprise, especially the Chisato, the main girl. It's like she was just such a character. She was just so bubbly, so just amazing. Like she just like exuded just this bubbly persona that just like pierced through the screen and just like right into your heart. It's like, oh man. Despite the like dark and gritty stuff happening around the show, it's just like it had a wholesome heart. You watch the show, you get my pun there. I just watched the last episode today, and this one's one where it's like, you know what? Yeah, I want to see more of this. I want more seasons, and it looks like that's also going to be announced. It's a nice good cop, bad cop kind of dynamic between the 2 main girls. Just a cool team, like as well, like a good team in anime. And overall, by the end of it, I found myself very heartwarmed and just looking forward to just anything else that would come after it. So Lycoris Recoil, surprisingly, I would give an 8 out of 10. And now going into the last thing on just everything I really binged week to week. One that still has 1 episode left, but I figured I would just cover it now. It's my favorite one out of everything, and it was one that I was really excited to watch when I saw the trailer for it. And that is, of course, Yovkash Noita, otherwise known as Call of the Night. The simplest way to describe this show is literally lo-fi hip-hop the show. Every season so far, there's been one show where it's just like the style of it is just it's definitely up there. Again, there's still 1 more episode, but I doubt it's gonna be fine. Funnily enough, I always wait until nighttime to actually watch like the latest episode, just because it's like I want to get in like that vibe. I wait till nighttime, I turn my lights moody, I give it like that purple and blue look to it, I open my window. It makes you want to go out like in the night and just enjoy it, just like, you know, to see the like abandoned streets and everything. As much as I would love to do that, I don't exactly live in a good part of the world in which I could just walk down the street by myself. It gives me a new appreciation for not necessarily nightlife, but just that idea, just like, you know, walking down the streets and just it having been quiet. Just like that ambient like hum of like a street lamp, being able to walk in the street with no cars in sight for miles. It's one of those shows where it's like I don't want to do the manga because it's like I like the style and the music and everything too much. Also just everything else, like the voice acting, it's like it's weird in the show because it's like it feels natural. I know that's weird to say, it's just like, yeah, that's just voice actors doing a good job, but like it feels like natural inflection and cadence, obviously in an unnatural situation, because, you know, this show deals with vampires. Again, I won't spoil it too much, but that's pretty much the show. I mean, if you saw the trailer and you see the cover, like, you could get that much. But the main girl, Nazuna, might just be one of my new favorite waifus, just mainly because she just exudes that energy of just like, come on, let's go out in the night, let's enjoy, let's have fun. Plus she's funny, she's quirky, she's got like that Nagatoro vibe to her, just in how she's animated and done. I mean, main dude, he's not really anything too special, but like he's enough of a blank slate where he's not too boring, but is enough where you can self-insert in a way. Especially if you're someone like me who hasn't really explored the night that much, at least not on his own. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to finale of season 1. And I'm really looking forward to hopefully that they bring back more. Obviously they're going to do more. I think this one was pretty popular. And definitely if this is nominated for any like Crunchyroll awards or anything, then I would definitely vote for it. Ironically, this is one of those shows where the opening I didn't really like too much, but the ending I absolutely love. Kind of like a Jujutsu Kaisen in that sense. Just because it's so strong. Just like, you know, just goes from the record like, and then it just goes, but overall, I'm tempted to give it a 10 out of 10, I'm gonna be honest. Especially like this most recent arc, I guess, with introducing like this detective and whatnot. Every time she's on screen, the whole tone of the show changes and the artwork and everything. This latest episode is absolutely my favorite just in terms of the artwork. Oh, it's definitely one of those ones I'm gonna be rewatching. I may want to do a thing where it's like I do like a late night binge of it just because it's just so good. I'd say for right now, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Solid 9 out of 10. Overall, this was my binge recap of the summer season of 2022. It's been an interesting one. Most of these shows I had more shit to talk than praise, but Lycoris Recoil and Call of the Night, they were really solid ones. And again, there's others that I haven't watched that, again, I'll get around to. I won't dedicate a video to them. I do a lot of praising shows on this channel. Every once in a while, you gotta tear a few down, put them in their place. But either way, I'm really looking forward to now the fall 2022 season just because of so much goodness coming out. We got My Hero Season 6. That's coming out in exactly a week. We have Mob Psycho Season 3. We got Chainsaw Man. We got Bleach returning. We have so much coming out. Spy Family Part 2. Oh, and a couple of other like trashy surprises, I'm sure. There's so much that's gonna be coming out soon, and a lot of it I will be watching on the channel, and I can't wait to just begin some new journeys, some revisiting old journeys. I just can't wait for all of it, and I hope you all can't wait too. So, until next time, I'm Lancer. Thanks for watching.